What's going on, good people? I'm going to go ahead and get started. Happy holidays to everyone that's watching this. Get ready to pop my picture up in a moment. Just give me a moment here to get situated. In 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up? This is Pastor Josh Reese with the Josh Reese Show, coming to you live about sexual cheating and non-sexual. What does that look like? What's going on? Why this subject? Take this time to go ahead and share this out. You're watching the rebroadcast, or you're just skimming through. Some of you all are maybe watching and you haven't even actually hit the page so you can enter in because you don't want your name to show up. Come on, support. Come on in here. Let me know who you are. And then you can go ahead and watch the rebroadcast as well. I think this is a topic and a subject that is definitely needs to be hit on, because a lot of times we have some things misconstrued when it comes to cheating. And one of the things I wanted to make sure that I did was I made myself transparent.
Take exit 140 on the right
people
until
to be able to understand that the best way to understand or to identify with what's going on with this thing called stepping out, unfaithfulness, is for someone to honestly step to the plate and say, hey, that was me. And so I wanted to make sure that I came on to give some credence to it, give you a background story of me. I'm a pastor of a church in Chicago, Illinois. Been pastoring over 11 years. I was pastoring 2 churches for 5 years. I've been pastoring one church in Chicago for 5 years. Organized a church in Gary, Indiana. But before I was pastoring, I was pertaining to ministry and what have you. And I was in ministry, and I'll never forget that at the age of 19, I thought my first wife was pregnant, and so I rushed things along. I rushed things along, and I got married. And in that getting married, I did not have all the tools. Now I'm going to say I didn't have all the tools that were necessary to have a sound marriage. And so, and make sure y'all can hear me, please. Tell me you can hear me, because I'm driving, but I got somebody being my eyes and everything like that. I rushed it along, not being guided, not pushing away from guidance also. Very prideful and stubborn, but young, because I did not have the direction of my father. Thank you. And so that's something that we're going to talk about in another time, but let's get to it. So in the midst of that, I was unhappy at times because things weren't going the way I wanted them to go. And so with that, I started losing attraction for my mate. And in that, I ended up stepping out because I was made to feel attractive to others. And come to find out that inside of me was a thirst of longing for companionship, because I dealt a lot with rejection. I dealt a lot with, with, how can I say, abandonment. I dealt a lot with people just not being as supportive to me. And yet, with all of that said and done, I still had to take ownership. At the time, I didn't take ownership. And so I found myself in places then, and even 2 marriages from there, I found myself in a place of stepping out because I just felt alone. And there came a time where somebody kind of made me feel a little handsome. made me feel like I was worth something more than who I was with. And I led into what my flesh, what my eyes downstairs was feeling. And I did that. So why do people do that? Let me tell you, when a person feels lonely, when a person feels disconnected, right or wrong, they will step out. They will try to find something to fill the void. And that was something that happened with me. And that's something that I talked to friends of mine, both male and female, both same gender relationships, opposite gender relationships, people who are, uh, in different types of areas in their life, married, divorced, widowed, and many of them had engaged in relationships outside of their partner. And so that is what we deem as cheating. Now let's identify this thing as cheating. I'm not going Webster's dictionary. I'm not going what the internet said, but let's be honest. Cheating has always been associated with if somebody steps outside of the relationship with another person intimately or in a way that that other partner would not be pleased with. And most of the time, we associate it that somebody stepped out sexually. Let me tell you something, you all. This is something I learned. We've been dumped so many traditions that many times in being dumped with the traditions, we haven't even gone to listen to what the hardcore reality is. Anytime you go ahead and misconstrue something for your own personal sake, you're cheating. When you take advantage of something that you should not have, or you give more attention to something versus to the primary source, you're cheating. So it doesn't say, okay, one is worse than the other. It's all wrong because at the end of the day, somebody's going to end up hurt. And the person most likely that is hurt is the person who had faith in you, that you were loyal, you were trustworthy. And I wasn't that dude. I thought I was, and many times I fooled myself, led me to sex lies and alibis. That's why I did that show the other day. And I'm here to tell you that we have to come to a place that, why do people cheat? Again, abandonment, rejection, loneliness, not satisfied, feeling inadequate, so you're trying to seek approval from somebody else because maybe your spouse disapproved of you. Maybe they told you you were bad in bed. Maybe they told you that you weren't attractive. Maybe they withheld intimacy from you. And so you sought it in someone else versus being faithful where you are. Now, that's going to be another show, but that can develop into a problem when somebody withholds that. That does not give you the right to go find satisfaction in another place. Because anytime you do that and it is not approved by your spouse, it's cheating. Now here goes something I'm going to throw at y'all that is also, here goes the non-sexual, non-intimate cheating. Anytime you give attention, again, to something and it's made a priority over where your loyalty should be. For instance, if I constantly find myself hanging with my friends and we're going out and we're enjoying ourselves, but yet I am taking away time that I could be with my spouse, or I've been negligent of spending time with my spouse and I placed other things before them, that's cheating. Some of you all don't realize how you have cheated. I have gone through where I was in a relationship and the person held their child in such a way that it put me at the bottom of the totem pole, and I had to get in where I fit in. Cheating. Well, it wasn't the average to take care of your child, love on your child, and none of that. After counseling, after talking about it, it was made known and very clear that I was not the man of the household. And when that man in a relationship does not feel that they are the head of that home, it's nothing about beating them on their chest. It's nothing about, no, it's about that quality time, spending that time. When you start making time that's supposed to be devoted with you and your significant, and you start making that time with others, including your children, including your family, including your friends, you are stepping out. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It's no different than intimate cheating. They both hurt. It may not hurt to you, but you're not the one being taken advantage of. And you can't lower how someone feels when someone does something like that. You can't kick them to the curb because they feel like you are making them feel inadequate. You're making them feel less. You start giving more devotion to other things. You can be at your job working crazy overtime. It is not that your house needs the money. You have a desire to have money, but you don't take a break or communicate with your spouse to say, hey, I'm working, but this is what we're going to set out time for to do between one another. You're cheating. You're cheating with your work. I know a lot of y'all, people going to disagree with it, but I'm here to tell you as a former cheater what cheating is. I'm trying to tell you. I remember, I know what I did last summer. How about that? I know what I did. I don't mean last summer, real technical. I know what I've done. I know the hearts that I've hurt. I know my proclivities. I'm aware of why I did it. And one of the things for me, I would not have been a cheater had I known something about my past. Many people don't really do replicate things, lineage, things that's in the bloodline. I recognize things as in my family, with my parents, going to my grandparents, and there were things in my family. I ain't gonna tell you what side or whatever, but unfaithfulness. And if I'm aware of that, and if someone that's close to me in bloodline, that was something that having issues in that area. If you know that you are a cheater, and you know that that person's a cheater, they need help. And don't overlook them. What do? You may not can help them, but you can lead them to the help. You all need to go to counseling. That's someone you love and everything. You're tired of being hurt. If you love them like that, you sticking it out, y'all need to go to counseling. And you don't need to just go to any counselor. Let me tell y'all about the church people. There in 12B. Okay, thank you. We will sit there and we will go to a counselor of the church who is not versed on how to handle you in a secular manner. They try to handle all things spiritual. Let me tell you something. It's going to take more than just laying of hands and putting oil on my head and giving me a scripture. It's going to take a discipline, and it's going to have to be the will of that cheater that I'm not doing that no more. I'm no longer going to engage in that, because many times these people are doing this because they really, here go another one, they don't have a love for themselves. They lack self-esteem. And so what they're trying to do is fit in and find a way to cope, to fill in voids. Some, they don't have their father's love. They don't have their mother's love. They don't have the love of their family. And so they find it everywhere, which leads into perversion and lust, which leads into a lot of different things. And I'm here to tell you, get some help. You need to get a clinical to work with you who deals particularly in those areas. It's okay. Y'all to say to yourself, it's okay. You the spouse, you the person that's being hurt, you have to get some help for yourself also. Because if you're going to stick it out, and I'm not here to tell you, which has been told us, somebody cheat on you, you need to leave. That's not always the case. That's not always the best solution. What was that, 267?
Yeah.
Okay. You all have to work that out on what you're going to do. Because what you don't want to do is offer rejection to that person, and then you end up taking them back. Because now, no matter what you think, the untrustworthy person can't trust you now. And yet y'all trying to build something. I mean, you got to make it make sense. Two wrongs don't make a right in no shape, form, or fashion. When that happened with me, who I was with, in one of the cases, they were faithful with me, but we were going off of old school practices, and so with that, what we had to discover is that, and honestly, I can use it as an example, and I can't use it because I didn't go get the help that I needed. I didn't get the help that I needed until some years ago, and I'm thankful. I had a good friend who was a pastor, and then I had a marriage counselor who I talked to, and then I had a couple of people who were in the areas of counseling and clinical psychology. They helped me greatly. They helped me find myself and realize what was going on. I discovered some things about my family. And then I decided if I'm really going to love and be with someone, I cannot offer to them something I don't want offered to me. Meaning, I don't want nobody doing that because I've experienced that hurt. I've experienced that pain. And that's something that we don't want to go through. Let me tell y'all, you're going to pray about it. Yeah, you can fast about it. But you also going to need to make sure you make sense about it. Get some help. If you have a friend that you call your accountability partner, let them know what's going on with you. But make sure your relationship is where they can tell you about yourself and you're okay with it. They can be like, tell your spouse, I'm aware and I'm for the marriage. I'm for the relationship. I'm aware and I'm going to fight with you all. That's the kind of friend I am to your significant. Make sure that friend is like that. Because you got some friends, they ain't going to say nothing. They just going to sit here. They just going to listen to you talk about who you was with and how you enjoyed it. But yet they not going to hold you accountable. Knowing good and well you out there hurting somebody. And at the same token, all you doing is preparing to invite hurt to yourself. You want to stop the hurt? Make sure you got the right people in your life that's going to say, hey, Buster, hey, punk, call you out your name, cuss you out, go off, go in, but in love and hold you accountable. Because there's got to be a level of self-conviction, but you got to have somebody talking to you. I'm thankful. God rest his soul, Bishop Damon Bennett. That was an accountability partner that I had up until 2021 of his passing. He held me accountable. He talked to me very thoroughly. He let me know some things, and in the midst of that, I made the necessary changes prior to, but I no longer had that struggle. So someone could talk about me all day and all night. Can't nobody talk about me like I could talk about me. I know what I've done, but I promise you this, I'm not the same dude no more because I love myself so much that I will not allow myself to bring pain on somebody that I don't want from myself. So, listen, it's Thanksgiving. Y'all listening. Some of y'all already told me you're going to watch the rebroadcast. I hope this has helped you. And this is just a tidbit of help, because at the end of the day, we all need help. You know you are a person, you need help, and you need more understanding. Maybe it's some questions or whatever. Put them in a comment, inbox me, whether it's on the Josh Reese Show page or even on my personal page. I do hold things in confidentiality, in confidence. I do honor that very much. And at the same token, I want to let you know, just like I needed help, let me help you. Let me guide you to some referrals. Check with your insurance to see what clinical psychologists and possibly psychiatrists. There's some people that are sex addicts. Was I a sex addict? I possibly could have been. I possibly could have been. I've hurt some people and I've been hurt, but we're not here about talking about the hurt I received. Here about the hurt I gave. That's unfair. It's very unfair. Um, Especially you got children and they got to stomach that stuff. Man, we got to do better, y'all. So hopefully this is helpful. Um, Join me next Tuesday. I'm going to do a part 2 on this. Hopefully I get some questions that I can go ahead and answer. I pray you all are enjoying your Thanksgiving, your time with loved ones and family. And remember, I'm here to help you, to help yourself. All right? It's Pastor Josh Reese. Just want to encourage you always. Shine your light. Y'all take care, all right?